the Civil War Guru. And today I'm here at the historic Battles of the Western Theater Museum in historic Bardstown, Kentucky. And we have an outstanding grouping in front of us. And this is General David Enyart of the 1st Kentucky Infantry. This guy enlisted during the neutrality of Kentucky. He had to go across into Indiana. And he went to a camp called Camp Clay and enlisted May 3rd of 1861. And he was immediately made Lieutenant Colonel of the 1st Kentucky. And then he was transferred down to Camp Dennison, where he ran into some of the fellows we have in here in the museum. He ran into General, who at that time was Colonel William Woodruff, and he also ran into Thomas Sedgwick of the 2nd Kentucky. And then he proceeded to Eastern Kentucky and to West Virginia. And he engaged in engagements that not many people have heard of. Then there was the Battle of Boone Courthouse, Battle of Blake's Farm, Cotton Hill, Laurel Creek, and then they came back to Kentucky. They engaged at the Battle of Shiloh. They engaged at the Battle of Corinth. And they came in back to Kentucky in pursuit of Confederate General Braxton Bragg. And then he went on down to some other small engagements the 1st Kentucky did. And Goose Creek, Collins Fork, and this was near Manchester, Kentucky. And then they returned back to Tennessee for the Battle of Stones River in Murfreesboro. They made the Battle of Chickamauga and Chattanooga. And in '64, he was returned back to Kentucky to join General Hobson of Kentucky, chasing the infamous Confederate General John Hunt Morgan on his great raid north. This guy was a crackerjack, and he was transferred to a couple different units, but he always wore and paid allegiance to the 1st Kentucky. And in front of us we have his frock coat and belt and et cetera, et cetera. And we'll get our famous cameraman Kenny Rogers up here and get some close-ups, and then I'll give a little dissertation on what we're looking at and try not to bore you too much. All right, Kenny, let's move the camera up. All right, what we have in front of us is his colonel's uniform with his crimson sash, which is severely faded, and his little cap box for his pistol and his 2-piece Kentucky belt. And this is a wonderful, outstanding frock coat and super condition, and with the U.S. Eagle buttons on it. But they were just outstanding. All right, now Kenny, let's move next to this outstanding sword that belongs to General Enyart. All right, what Kenny has in view here is his really unusual staff sword. It has a sitting Lady Liberty integrated into the guard with the U.S. And it has the, of course, shark skin handle and the wire. And it's a silver scabbard with brass mounts. This is a real unique sword. I've never seen another one like it. I'm sure there's some out there. But this was a special order, and it was carried by General David Enyart. All right, what we have in front of us is his writing desk, his little portable laptop, they call them. I guess that's a precursor to a laptop computer. And then there's a brooch there that his wife wore, and in the back of it's got a lock of his hair. And in the view there, you can also look and you can see a small pocket compass, which is really a necessity for an officer. And to the extreme left, you'll see a cup, and that's called a collapsible drinking cup, because it collapses inside and you can stick it in the bottom of the little laptop desk. But these are real essentials. There's a a picture. We got a larger picture of him sitting there in a chair with his hat on and a cavalry sword. It seems like the guys from the 1st Kentucky and 2nd Kentucky, at the beginning of the war, there wasn't a lot of arms around, so they actually were issued cavalry swords, even though they were in the infantry. And he's sitting there posed in a chair. And then we're going to move it over here and get we got an unusual picture. We got this from the Department of the Army of General David Enyart and General Thomas Sedgwick in a group picture here. And of course it's a copy, but it really depicts the 1st Kentucky commander and the 2nd Kentucky commander. All right, and then again, another essential of a infantry commander is his tactic books, and these are Casey's. Casey produced these, and it's a 3-volume set, and they're in outstanding condition, and they belong to Mr. Enyart. So I kind of wanted to get those into view because this is kind of the things that these guys carried around on a daily basis. They had them in their tents or in their saddles. So I want to kind of get that into the shot. All right, what you have here in view is 2nd model Smith, and most of the officers bought these particular pistols because they were super reliable, and they were 32 caliber, by the way. And they sold them up in Cincinnati, and a company that distributed them was Kittredge and Company. But, you know, we've got a lot of these guys, these Kentucky officers, which we have here in the museum, that carry these particular pistols. And off to the right of it, you'll see a photo of General Enyart when he was at the rank of colonel, sitting there with his cavalry sword. So I'm going to get Kenny kind of just zoom in on that, and then we'll go to the final shot. All right, here's that, for me, it's an outstanding photograph, and it really, for the artifacts we have here in the museum of the 1st Kentucky and the 2nd Kentucky, it speaks volumes. Sitting is, in his colonel ranking there, is David Enyart of the 1st Kentucky. And standing is Thomas Sedgwick of the 2nd Kentucky. And of course, I'm sure they were friends and taking this shot together. But this is a real outstanding photograph, and like I said, we got this from the U.S. Army Archives. And there's a couple of little artifacts. We'll kind of zoom around there if we can. If not, I'm going to take this opportunity on myself, the old Civil War guru, and our cameraman Kenny Rogers, and the directors of the Civil War Museum Battles of the Western Theater here in historic Bardstown, Kentucky. And when you get a chance, when all the craziness is gone with the viruses and that, pay us a visit down here. It's some fabulous artifacts, and we have several different buildings, and we cover from the Revolutionary War through modern, actually. And of course, the main core is the Battles of the Western Theater Museum. So for myself, I bid you farewell.